if this message today can help other people get diagnosed early and not have their life cut short. Sorry, I'm getting a bit emotional. Cut short in the way Lawrence's was. I think that would be the ultimate legacy Lawrence would want, to save lives.
Kit, we're grateful for you coming on. Could you tell us a little bit about Lawrence? How did you meet?
Oh, Tina, Lawrence was such a kind, gentle, thoughtful, warm man, and above all, very silly. He had a great sense of humour, and he was incredibly handsome, but I would say that, wouldn't I? We met at university. He was my first proper boyfriend. We met at the University of Sussex, and we were together for 9.5 years and got married. And 250 days after our wedding in October 2021, we got married. I'll always remember that day. It was the happiest day of my life. But 250 days later, Lawrence died on the 30th of June 2022, as you say, at the age of 31, after a battle with bowel cancer. Although he hated the word battle, he lived with bowel cancer. He was trying all the treatments he could, but the disease did come back, and it felt like none of the treatments were working.
Utterly devastating. I'm so sorry. When did the symptoms first appear?
Well, for Lawrence, it was actually, and I think this is a case from the young people he spoke to a similar age to him, he was diagnosed quite late. And for him, it actually took 2 years from him first going to the GP with symptoms until he got that bowel cancer diagnosis. And for Lawrence, the symptoms were a bloating sensation, a sort of on-off stitch, he used to call it, a bit like you've been on a run and you had a stitch in your side. And also, and sorry to talk about this if people are eating at the moment, but we do, with bowel cancer, you do have to talk about toilet habits. It was a sensation of being on the toilet and not feeling like he'd emptied his bowels, and that sensation, and he used to get very frustrated on the toilet. And sadly, the first GP he went to said it was irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, gave him some over-the-counter medication, and actually when Lawrence went back to that GP, he sort of made him feel guilty for going back and said, I've already seen you on this, you're wasting my time, and sort of fobbed him off. And actually, he then was on a waiting list for 6 months after going to another GP for a second opinion, because he wasn't deemed as being in a high-risk group, to get that colonoscopy, which eventually diagnosed quite a large tumour in his bowels. And what I find so upsetting at times when I think about it is that Lawrence did do all the right things. He did ask for help. He did go to his GP, but for him it was diagnosed too late. So it's so important to sort of break down some of those stereotypes.